I honestly think that it took us until 2023 because I believe that they figured out a system to where they can do that and it not affect their federal kickback for having the child support program in place. States get a kickback for having a federal child support program in place. It can range anywhere from 30 to 52 extra $1 million kickback to them, to the state.
Just for the administration of the program itself.
Yep, because they looking at it at a means of why people, you know what I'm saying? Well, we'll just say women, since women can have the babies. Women are allowed to just throw a name on a birth certificate because they want some type of man attached to a child, whether it's yours or not, and they get paid for it. The higher the percentage that you're hitting on the quota, there is an actual quota that the state needs to hit, and we can you know what I'm saying, start digging and delving into this, looking for it. But there is a quota that states need to hit, and if they hit this specific quota of having all of these basically verified babies attached to a dad, the state kicks them money for that. And then if they exceed the quota, then they get a bonus for that.
Someone like the police. How many citations that you issue within a month? Many people don't know that there's an actual quota for how many citations that the police
have. They say it's not, but it is, man.
I mean, everybody says that it's not, but I mean, it's like when you talk to people who are unafraid to tell the truth, they all say what it is. And I know many police officers on the federal level, on the state level, on the city and county level. I mean, whether it's the unspoken rule or not, it is what it is. But at the same token, it does exist. It's like, we're not oblivious to the fact that on the end of the month, every month, is when they rev up on the citations given. That they know that every holiday, and again, the guys of safety, 4th of July, those areas where people would generally drink heavy, you would think like, okay, yeah, we're preventing drinking and driving by being out here. But that's big ticket day. That's big ticket day. It's like a vendor taking advantage of, or like a club owner taking advantage of, hey, it's Independence Day, come to the club, come get wasted at the club because it's Independence Day. It's no different. Hey, it's Independence Day. People like to drink on July 4th. Let's get out here and go get this money. I mean, I think it works on the same premise. I hate to believe it does, but I mean, I've heard it out the horse's mouth as they were on their way to go, as you say, go get the money, go get the money. And it sucks. It sucks. That's why it's like on certain holidays, I don't even go outside. That's one of the fortunate things about having a child whose birthday is on New Year's Eve. It prevents you from going out to hang out. So I'm never outside on New Year's Eve. I don't know what they do on New Year's Eve anymore.
Check this out. I'm finna share this screen. This is from benefits.gov. Okay.
Send it up.
I did.
Okay. I'm waiting on this to come in.
It should be there.
Nothing yet. There we go.
All right, cool. All right, let me blow this up. So you kind of just gonna have to, read between the lines of what this thing is telling you. Okay. This is from benefits.gov. Okay. Child support enforcement. Okay. This is a program by the federal government. The Child Support Enforcement Program provides services to locate absent parents. I'm so used to fathers, saying fathers. Absent parents.
80% of the fathers. I mean, let's call it what it is. We don't sugarcoat her.
Establish paternity and enforce support obligations. People who receive assistance under temporary assistance for needy families, foster care, and Medicaid programs receive CSC services automatically. People who are not in assistance programs can apply for child support services, and any support collected goes directly to them. Services are available to a parent with custody of a child who has a parent living outside of the home. Federally recognized tribes may apply for and upon approval receive funding to operate. Look, federally recognized tribes may apply for and upon approval receive funding to operate a child support enforcement program. You have to get approved to run this program. So
No,
states have to apply for this.
no. Tribes, the
I know.
civilized,
I get it. I get it. Tribes. Yes.
yeah,
This
those, yeah.
tribes may apply. It's said right there in black and white.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. Like
That's
when we
all
say
we're speaking on is tribes.
okay, because when you had said states just a second ago, like oh, I don't want to confuse that because of the
Oh, my bad. I didn't
yeah,
mean to say states. My bad.
yeah.
Good catch. So tribes may apply for this for upon approval receive funding to operate a child support enforcement program consistent with tribal laws and customs. Upon approval of an application, tribes receive 500,000 in funding for 2 years to put a program in place. Okay. Who is eligible for the enforcement? Be a parent or primary caregiver who needs help establishing paternity, be establishing a child support order or collecting child support, or be a federally recognized tribe that has 100 children under the age of majority subject to the tribe's jurisdiction. Okay, let's start reading through this. Additional information. Okay, saw it somewhere. And the funding from the program be renewed? Yes. Funding type, mandatory. Entities eligible for grant assistance, federally recognized tribes and tribal. Number of people served by this program. This is a national program. Both states and tribes operate child support programs. More than 17 million children are part of the number of cases treated throughout the country. Okay. These two right here, length of the program. Annual budgets must be submitted and costs must be allocated. I'm sorry, applicable, allocatable, whatever, to the program.
Mm-hmm.
The program must also be in compliance with the regulations at all times. There's your quota. There's your quota. You must be in compliance. And the rest of that is just talking about the tribes again. But these two right here specifically talk about the programs specific to states and them being in compliance to receive the funding. That's why. So it's in black and white written right here. Benefits.gov. Child Support Enforcement Program.
You know, the thing that I find to be the most interesting about the child support enforcement program specifically is the fact that child support is supposed to be for the child. One thing that I have yet to see that I hope that is coming down the pipeline soon enough is receipts being due to verify that the money spent is actually going on the needs of the child. Alimony is alimony, going on the needs of the household and the living.
Mm-hmm.
Child support is not for nails, hair.
Or like the woman said on The View, I should be able to just go get a drink from time to time if I want one.
That's not that has nothing to do with the support of the child. It does not benefit you to go out and get inebriated and hang out. It benefits the child to be able to make sure that whatever services or subsidies that are necessary are made available to that child in a moment's notice.
So I don't know which state specifically has it or does it. And I heard it so long ago, but there is a state that does have a child support debit card that you could only
Florida
purchase.
has it.
Say that again.
Florida has one.
Florida has one. I don't know if Illinois has that. I see on here Wisconsin has it. Wisconsin has it's called a Way to Go debit MasterCard child support. They started that. It looked like, I don't know if it say the website changed. I don't know if this was the start of introducing the MasterCard at that time. This is the only date that I see available on this website for Wisconsin. But it started January 8th of 2022. They implemented this debit card for child support.
Well, I mean, just because they implement the debit card doesn't mean that they implement the necessity of validating what you use it for.
Well, what I'm getting at is that it in some way it can, because when you swipe this card, it's going to show that you went to Sally's Nails. What the hell did you go to Sally's Nails for? For your child is.
You could have needed nail polish for your daughter. Could have needed hair products for your daughter.
But your child is 3.
Who am I to determine what your needs are when it comes down to the child may have a very coarse head of hair? You know, again, it's like the ambiguity of certain things to where common sense will tell you certain things.
That's where I'm going with it, Mike. Common sense, dog. We're not finna play that game, dude.
But it's like, I cannot, unfortunately, in good faith, ever say to you that because I feel it, that therefore that should make it so. Because I know too many women who have put perms to straighten the hair on children who are underdeveloped.
And damage their hair, yeah.
Not just damage their hair, but the chemicals, there's still unknown effects of what the chemicals, those perms and those relaxers, and what those hot chemicals do to an undeveloped mind, because those chemicals will seek into the pores of a child's scalp and go into the head. Mm-hmm. We don't know what those things are doing to those children in prolonged use over the years of what they have done or what effects they may have. We don't know. And because that information is not necessarily made available as far as actual tests that have been done on children over said period of time, we're at a loss of a lot of very vital information as far as what those poisons, because I mean, there are poisons. We can admit that they're poisons. You know how? Because they'll burn your hair out. They'll burn your scalp if you have been in your hair too long.
Right. Well, let me check because the only way, and you're right, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we'll toe that line. The only way to find out for sure if the person is, we'll say, misappropriation of funds.
Those are my words. I was going for that. That was what I was going for.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see if they actually have some guidelines in place. You can't buy this. You can't buy this, and we don't give a hell. You cannot buy that. If you want to buy it, you have to buy it with your own money. You cannot use this card.